Alright, now that we've all had a couple days to cry and absolutely rage on Twitter over the announcement that JJK is coming to an end, we are back and we have the 267 spoilers, and this week, oh boy, this week is absolutely insane. So if you don't want to have the twist of a lifetime spoiled, just clicking off, but if you're like me and you just can't wait, keep watching and let's get right into it. The chapter starts off with a flashback to the training period, and we have Gojo in Yuta's body and vice versa. Yuta asks Gojo to give him the final Sukuna finger so that Rika can eat it and copy Sukuna's shrine curse technique. Gojo thinks about it for a second and declines. Gojo points out that even though what Yuta said is true, it wouldn't be enough for them to truly analyze Shrine's technique properly. Yuta, looking a little disheveled, agrees to this because even with Inamaki's cursed speech, one of his most spammed copied techniques, he had to get Inamaki's input on how to properly use it. Okay, two things I want to point out right away. One is that I love how Gege is able to draw all these body swapped characters, and yet we know exactly who they are supposed to be. Gege is really a master at the art of being subtle with his character designs and the way he does things. Secondly, looks like Gege is finally giving us a full breakdown of how Yuta's copy technique works, something that we kinda knew but kinda didn't, and it looks like I might have to remake my Yuta video, or at least the part regarding his copy technique. Back to the chapter. Gojo says he doesn't think it's smart to use the last finger and lose their connection to Sukuna. Yuta questions this, and Gojo just replies, "It's a gamble," or how Hikari would say, "It's the heat." Gotta love when Gege gives us some Hikari crumbs. Speaking of crumbs, if you would like to give me some crumbs and subscribe to this channel, that would be great. We are trying to grow it, and every little bit helps. If you could leave a like and a comment as well, it would be much appreciated. Thank you. We get another page of Yuta breaking down copy as he explains exactly what the requirements are for Rika to copy a curse technique. The first major part being that it does require Rika to consume a part of the subject's body. The size and what body part is determined by two things. The first being the number of times Yuta plans on using the technique, and secondly, the subject he's actually copying. Yuta says that you can think of it this way: if I want to copy a strong technique, I need a part of the body that could be potentially fatal to them. But even if it's not fatal to them, he can still fulfill the requirements with a binding vow to limit the amount of times he could use the technique. So basically, Binding Vow Kaisen is back, and you gotta love it. Gege really is out here answering all the questions about this boy, because we get yet another page of Yuta breaking it down, as we learn that once the subject uses RCT, the technique that Yuta copied is taken away from him and Rika. We get the example that Yuta allowed Rika to eat Inamaki's and Hana's arm because it was determined that regardless of RCT or modern science, neither could recover that limb, so he could potentially spam the technique. We then get a little funny panel of Hikari leading Charles away, assuring him that he'll be okay and healed later, as it's revealed that Yuta took a piece of his ribcage. I love when Gege is able to use these brief moments of comedy, especially after such a long stretch of fighting, but part of me wishes that we could just keep going. But at last, we do get something pretty solid as Mei asks Yuta if he's been informed about Yuji and Sukuna's residence from Todo. Yuta confirms that he's aware and that they've been waiting to execute their plan right before fighting Sukuna, and they will do it while informing Yuji on just the bare minimum. Yuta tells Yuji that even though they can't use it right now, his body is soaked in Sukuna's curse technique and it's already been engraved with Sukuna's shrine, and that Gojo confirmed this using his 6 eyes. Cut back to the present, and Sukuna notices that Yuji is missing one more finger than he should be, instantly realizing that Yuta was bluffing when their fight began, confirming that Yuta used Yuji's finger to copy Shrine. The next page is UTAHIME and GAKUGANJI standing below Sukuna's finger, and GAKUGANJI asks if Sukuna's finger, a special grade cursed object that can withstand any physical or jujutsu attack, can be penetrated by that technique. And I am absolutely getting the chills right now. UTAHIME states, through a binding vow in which they remove the objective of destroying the shell of the object and only applying the technique's effect, maybe she can pull it off. Oh my god, guys, it's real. It's happening. Gege, you're a fiend. Are you really doing this? Yes! Cut to Nobara saying, "Rejoice, boys. She's back." Oh my god, this is insane, and all the Nobara believers are rejoicing in this moment. You guys are some of the strongest willed members of this fandom, and I can't believe you were right. Congratulations. I honestly thought they were going to turn her technique into a cursed tool, but seeing her back in the flesh, I don't know what to say. It's almost too much, but let's keep going. The next page is Nobara using resonance on Sukuna's last finger. We get a really beautiful double page spread of Sukuna's entire body as it begins to convulse, and it's being hit by Nobara's resonance. He instantly realizes what's going on and begins to freak out. This is that woman's "This is bad. I can't open my domain at this rate. This kid sure hit effect will." We cut to Yuji as he starts to realize what's going on and begins to smile and cry as Godora smiles and addresses Yuji directly and says his one-liner from way back in the day. How's that for opape? Yuji doesn't waste any time, however, and just jumps right in on Sukuna, tearing him up. Yuji gives his dirty uncle the bad time treatment as he knees him in the stomach, making Sukuna vomit, but this creeper uncle isn't giving up and tries to keep fighting back. Sukuna, absolutely livid now and possibly talking out of his ass, tells Yuji, "Did you really think that you could peel me off with that makeshift domain?" Sukuna is desperate and feeling the most human ever, I might add, as he tells himself that Yuji must be past his limit as he's not using RCT and domains consume a large amount of cursed energy. As he's thinking all of this though, he gets hit by Yuji's special delayed impact punch, and it really starts to send him spiraling as he's confused as to what's even going on at this point. Yuji locks in with one of his coldest stares yet as he says, "Let's put an end to this ever-cycling curse, Sukuna." Yuji loads up the heat and hits Sukuna with a black flash, knocking Sukuna out with the editor's comment saying, "This fight has finally ended. End of chapter. No break next week." What an amazing chapter. Gege seemingly finding the perfect way to end this. He's just been releasing banger after banger, and yeah, it's done? I don't know how to feel about this. Is this really the end? You let me know down below. Gege, for all the love in the world, is the biggest Sukuna glazer, so I would not be surprised if next week Sukuna pops right back up and we get a continuation of this, or this all turns out to just be Yuji's domain and Sukuna wakes up in reality and somehow wins. I don't know. I'm trying to cope, but with what we did get, this was a great chapter. There were so many good things about this week's chapter. The only thing I could complain about is that the pacing within the chapter felt a little off. Somehow it felt like maybe we missed a step. Even though this has been an extremely long arc, I feel like we could have had more. What do you guys feel? How do you feel about this story, or at least this part of the story, finally being over and with 5 or 4 chapters left? Is there enough time to tell the story that you guys want told? Or do you think Gege's just done and this is it? I don't know. I feel like there might be 1 or 2 more chapters of maybe Sukuna in the afterlife. That would be great. But either way, thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and comment and subscribe. It all helps. Thanks. Bye.